I forget what Shale says. He does approach you later on, though, saying something. I need to talk to Wynne as well.
I owe
Yeah.
you an explanation for what happened earlier. You should know that something happened to me at the tower before you came along. Remember my apprentice, Petra? She encountered a demon in the tower. It would have killed her had I not intervened. I saved her life that day, but I did not survive that encounter with the demon. It's not a joke, I promise. Let me explain. I engaged a very powerful demon to rescue Petra. It sapped me of all my energy and will and left me drained. It took everything I had to defeat it. And when I was done, I no longer had the strength to keep my heart beating. I remember my life ebbing away. Everything receded from me. Sound, light. I remember being enveloped in complete, impenetrable darkness. And then I sensed a presence enfolding me and cradling me, whispering quietly to me. The sensation is impossible to describe. I was being held back, firmly but gently, as a mother would a child, eager to slip from her grasp. I felt life and warmth flowing through my veins again. I began to be aware of small sounds and the discomfort of my hip pressing into the cold stone of the tower floor. The Fade contains spirits both benevolent and malicious. The benevolent spirits seldom make themselves known, because they want nothing from mortals, unlike the demons. It was one of these spirits that saved me. Without it, I would be dead. And it has not left me. It is with me, even now, bonded to me. You see, I am supposed to be dead. It is the spirit that is keeping me in this world. And this is not the way of things. Perhaps the spirit did not expect this, but it is weakening gradually. I am living on borrowed time. Yes, that we will.
Dun dun dun. So Wynne is some type of crazy person.
What's on your mind? I have always had an affinity for the spirits of the Fade. As a child, I never feared my dreams because I knew they were there. I could sense the demons, too, and their presence frightened me. It was the kindly spirits of the Fade that took the fear from me. I've always been able to feel the spirits, even if I never saw them. And as I nurtured my talent in the circle, I became more sensitive. I began to notice every time I was in the Fade, whether it was in a dream or in magical practice, that I was being watched. I suppose they must. It is these benevolent spirits that create our dream worlds in the Fade. Sometimes I would see it, a glowing, nebulous form. Most times I would just feel its presence, gentle and comforting, but somehow alien. I think it is a spirit of faith. They have never been seen before, and perhaps I am wrong. But something tells me I'm not. It always felt like the same entity. This one spirit was curious about me, and was guarding me, for want of a better word. There were times when I was in the Fade that it seemed to stretch forth to shield me, keeping me safe. And I think it gave me strength in my most terrible battles, Ostagar being one of them. I don't know why I was chosen. Perhaps it knew that there was something more that lay in store for me. I like to think that I was given a rare chance, and I'm going to make the best of the time so generously given to me. I will not lie motionless in a bed with coverlets up to my chin, waiting for death to claim me. That is not the death for me. And so I will fight alongside the Grey Warden, and help prepare him for the task that is yet before him. So you had better listen to me, Because I swear, if I should fall before the end and you don't seem to be doing things properly, I'll get up again to give you a good finger wagging.
God, I love Wynne. She is awesome.
You know, I think you'll be all right, even without my help.
Wynne approves! 'Cause Wynne's the best!
What's on your mind? Cure me? What, am I sick now? Even you know that you cannot cure the dead. And I'm not the only one dying. You are too. I'm just more efficient about it. Ah, child, your concern is heartwarming. But death comes to everyone, and it is not something to fear. People fear not death, but having life taken from them. Many waste the life given to them, occupying themselves with things that do not matter. When the end comes, they say they did not have time enough to spend with loved ones, to fulfill dreams, to go on adventures they only talked about. But why should you fear death if you are happy with the life you have led? If you can look back on everything and say, yes, I am content. It is enough. I think I've led a good life, a full life, and I, for one, am not afraid of death, whatever it may bring. They say that when you die, your spirit travels through the fade and returns to the Maker. And after that, we'll see, won't we?
We will see.
What's on your mind?
What else does she have to say?
I try not to dwell too much on the mistakes of my past, of which there are many. I would go quite mad if I did that. But I do have one regret. The greatest misstep of my life, made even more grave because it had dire consequences for someone else. Years ago, I was assigned as mentor to a lad, Anarin. He was my first apprentice. Anarin was an elf, raised in one of the elven alienages, and he was very mistrustful of humans, especially humans in authority. What Anarin needed was time. Time to get used to his new home, time to emerge from his shell, so we could build a rapport. I gave him no such time. I was young and arrogant. He is a mage, I thought. He needs to grow up and act like one. I expected too much from him, too quickly. I gave no consideration to his origin or his feelings, and he retreated further from me. All I could think of was how stubborn he was, how he was throwing away all his talent and his potential, just to be difficult. Oh, I dread to think. I was a harsh taskmistress. He might have thought I was a demon in disguise. You cannot plant crops in the cold, wintry ground. You cannot teach a student who is closed off and unresponsive. Patience is what is needed, and I learned that too late to help him.
Yeah, school systems could benefit from Wynne's teachings. Yeah, maybe. Perhaps.
Aaron ran away from the circle one night. I had berated him over some trivial, ridiculous matter that I no longer remember. I drove him away because of something utterly unimportant. He was a child, 14 at the time of his leaving. They had his phylactery, and they hunted him down. They called him Maleficar, a mage who practices forbidden magic, deserving of death. He was a child, misunderstood and lost. I begged the Templars to tell me if he suffered, if they gave him a quick death. I got no answers from them. I was his mentor, and they wouldn't even tell me what became of him.
Obviously don't pick 3. I'm just looking to between if I should pick 1 or 2. Can you say it's not your fault? She's gonna be like, it was my fault. And if you say that was cool of them, she'll be like, but was I any better? And I'm gonna pick 2.
I should have known better. I had the best mentors, They were kind, compassionate. Why didn't I learn from them? I failed in Aaron. All I had to do was listen to him. He would try to talk to me, and I would tell him to concentrate on his spells. He talked about the alienage sometimes, and the Dalish. He always talked about looking for the Dalish elves. The Templars are well trained and thorough. That he still lives, it would be a vain hope. The apprentices that came after Anarin benefited greatly from the lessons I learned from him. In a sense, he was my teacher, and I his student. And there it is. My story, my one greatest regret.
Sad! But now I get a willpower, and I get a quest, her companion quest. Which I really love, her companion quest. Probably more than really any others. Especially better than Sten's! Sten's is so boring. Shale's is much better than Sten's. Everybody's is better than Sten's. I don't know how you could possibly like Sten's. Everybody else's gives some closure or something. Sten's is some stupid, trivial matter that I suppose is important to him. I suppose that's what really matters, though, is that it's important to him. I guess can I identify with Sten at all? Well, not with his companion quest, at least. There's some parts of him that I can tolerate.
What's on your mind?
Anything else? Nope. Alrighty then. Let's talk to Shale and see what he has to say. Or she, as I should call her now.
It speaks.
Never mind. I guess she doesn't have anything weird to say. Let's talk to Morrigan. See what she has to say, because I'm gonna sex her up.
Yes? At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees. For a time, but one can only remain a child for so long. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments, the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds. She was not. Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been. They did indeed. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
And she approves an absolute shit ton. Did I already give her that gift? You guys probably remember if I already gave her the mirror. You can get a mirror that's like the one she describes. And that's true for a lot of companions. If you talk with them, they'll tell you like, oh, I remember such and I had such and such a thing as a child, but then I lost it. And then you totally find it, like a similar thing, and you bring it to them, and they're like, oh my god, I love you. And I'm like, that's right, you love me. I'm a sexy man. But anyways, how much... Let's go do Warden's Keep, I guess.
Yes.
God, I love Wynne. Okay, we're gonna try and go to Warden's Keep, but it's not going to work. Because we're gonna get a cutscene with Wynne. I'm almost 100% certain we're gonna get one of Wynne's cutscenes. And if we do, I have to spam level up Morrigan. Yeah, here we go. Oh no, my sword's in my face. And Wynne's just like, bring it, bitches. New ability, Vessel of the Spirit. How lovely. Get that so she can get mana regen. Then she wants this, that. I have 3 more. I could get sleep, or I could get healing. I think I'm gonna go with healing. So, Wynne casts that. Morrigan's gonna cast this. So Wynne has her little Vessel of the Spirit thing. Morrigan's gonna cast Glyph of whatever the frick on this dick. It completely destroys his mana, and he can regen mana in there, and it's a really good spell. So now he can only do basic attack, which is basically useless. You go over there. Alistair, you go over here. Actually, screw that. Just everybody go over here. Wynne, no, get away from there. Oh, you killed him, wow. So her Vessel of the Spirit's gonna run out soon. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cast Death Hex, which is a really good ability, I think. So every attack is critical. So he's just gonna get wasted. And we have a couple more dudes over here that will kill, and then we'll be done with that. Oh, there's more than a couple. Wynne, stay back.
Hurry.
Stabby stab. Vanquished. I think Wynne says something. Any second now. Oh, whatever, I guess let's loot people while I'm at it. A potent.
is interesting and draining. I called forth the spirit that sustains me so that it could lend us aid. I did not realize it would take this much out of me. It seemed a good idea at the time, if a little rash. I think it may have weakened the spirit a little. Well, that's certainly conceivable. I suppose I shouldn't be using that particular trick to entertain children at parties. I promise I'll be careful. And thank you. Your concern is touching.
And that is why Wynne is the best, and why she is statistically a better mage than Morgan. Because she gets Vessel of the Spirit, which will become even better after we do Wynne's companion quest. Isn't that lovely? So Wynne is just going to be completely beastly and the best mage ever. Because literally, when she uses that, she'll like get all of her mana back. And she gets really high mana regeneration, she gets resistance to damage, she stuns everybody around her, and it's just like ridiculous how good that is. Straight up ridiculous. So we're not going to have time to finish this. We might get close.
And here we are. Soldier's Peak. Maker's breath. Look at the size of her. What a fortress. I told you the map would get us through the tunnels. I wasn't lost, it's just that the map got soggy. Bah, we're here. So, I'll follow you about, from a distance. This place has the stench of death. I expect there's trouble up ahead.
Saving the game, saving the game.
Better centuries, more like.
Once the wardens flourished, their ranks full, their caliber certain. Now they even accept people like you, Alistair.
Hey.
Ah, jeez. I should activate this shit.
Done.
I didn't have that on the entire fight, and Alistair still isn't taking any significant damage. He's just amazing.
Fall back! Fall back already!
Taking the peak will not be easy, my lord.
I gave the Wardens one chance to die with honor. Instead, they hole up like cowards. We follow the King's advice then. Starve them out.
But the peak has months of supplies.
Then we wait. When they are too weak to lift their weapons, we will send them to their final judgment.
What was that? I felt a bit woozy there. I'm not mad, am I? You saw it too.
I just realized that Levi and I look very similar.
How's that possible? This place truly is haunted. The Veil? Demons? Thank Andraste you came, Warden. After you.
Demands. We fight these dudes, and I just kick the shit out of them. And then, once again, Mass Paralysis is fantastic. It's a channeled spell, though, so watch, I channel it. Owned. And it's really good for my guy, because my guy can backstab anybody that's stunned, so he just goes on a backstabbing spree. Vanquished. So we are almost out of time. We'll probably have enough time for a few more diversions. We'll probably be able to get inside the actual building. But first thing is first.
These things can have unusual powers.
Oh, she got her face beaten. I should put Wynne's ability on here. Yeah, it says what it does. Upkeep 60, 15% fatigue, cooldown 300 seconds. Wynne disorients nearby enemies with the release of energy, will destroying some health and mana, and any bonuses to spell power and mana regeneration. However, once she deactivates the ability, she is stunned and suffers penalties to movement, attack, and defense. So basically, when you give her, when she goes out of combat, she'd better not be getting attacked. Alistair, knock that dick over. So we're gonna look at the statue. New quest, ancient history. I believe the... Oh, that was all that they dropped, was just one guy. I thought the Warden Acolyte would drop something. This is crazy. Oh, here's a dude. Oh, he's dying. You're dead. 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 That reminds me, I should equip... I suppose I can't equip in combat. Pretty good crossbow. But Wynne needs some I got Harrowmont's staff, is that better? Definite upgrade for Morgan. I really have nothing good to give Morgan. Do I have spirit damage? No. Because really I just want spirit damage. Morgan doesn't even have any damaging spells. You know what? I will just end it here. Because we'll just go in next time. This seems like a pretty good place to stop. So next time... Well, this is crazy already. You guys won't see me until Monday. This is crazy. We already did a week. And I feel like I haven't even done anything, even though it's been 5 hours. God, this game's so long. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time, and it shouldn't take more than an hour to do this. This place probably takes 45 minutes. It really isn't that long of a DLC, but there's a lot of cool rewards you can get, and it's not just doing this that, yeah, whatever. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.